Hi everyone, this is Haseena Patel from South Africa, co-founder and executive director of Little Girl Behind International. And I am very privileged to be speaking with someone who is amazing. Let me tell you a bit about her. I'm speaking with Karen Hoyos, Celebrity Coach, who is also a global transformational leader, coach of coaches, international speaker, and a successful entrepreneur. With the principles she teaches, in just 10 months, Karen was able to reach over 40 million people through her seminars, top television show appearances, published articles, and best-selling products. Karen is also often featured as an expert guest on networks like NBC, E! Entertainment Television, Univision, and Telemundo. She personally coaches Hollywood celebrities, athletes, politicians, entrepreneurs, other coaches, and speakers through her company Karen Hoyos International. And Karen has been the keynote speaker on many prestigious stages, including Carnegie Hall and Harvard University. She was chosen as one of the 7 most inspiring women in the United States, second only to famous singer Shakira by international magazine Sempre Mujer. Karen has embarked on many humanitarian missions for the United Nations and many nonprofit organizations in America and Africa. She is also the recipient of the Humanitarian of the Year Award by the Diplomatic Organization of Los Angeles. Welcome, Karen. It's such an honor to connect with you again.
Thank you, Haseena. Thank you so much for a great introduction. It is my pleasure to be back here in this wonderful show. Looking forward to spending quality time with you and your wonderful audience.
Oh, awesome. And isn't technology amazing? I mean, me in South Africa and you in Miami, the United States.
I know. You gotta love it. I am very grateful for technology. And I believe it has become a great tool for us to be able to reach millions of people, to touch people's heart, and to be able to continue expanding the impact of our purpose on this planet. So I'm very grateful for it, and I'm here. Today is a rainy day, beautiful and rainy day, because in Miami it's usually sunny, and I love the rain too. You know, days sunny and raining are both necessarily for plants to grow, to things to continue being green. So it's all welcome. Very grateful for today.
Awesome. Well, you were talking about purpose, and I know the title of your new book, Purpose, the Ultimate Quest. Well, first of all, congratulations on that.
Thank you.
And I have to ask you, you know, when you're birthing a new book, it's such a journey. So what is the most important message that you feel this book, writing this book and just going through that journey taught you? And what's your best advice to aspiring authors?
For sure. I mean, the first one of all is to share what is in their hearts and not what other people think they need to teach or write about. I believe the best books are the ones that are coming from our essence, from that deep place where there is no knowledge, where wisdom lies, because wisdom is beyond the mind, is beyond ego, is really from the soul. And when we combine the wisdom of the soul with a easy, clear, powerful way to communicate, and also I believe with actions for the reader to take, it becomes more an interaction than just the reader being a passive person in this interaction. It is more an active communication where people feel that this book is talking to them directly, and that they're also participating in the creation of the message of what the book is giving. I think this is going to be key for everyone who wants to write. Whatever it is, it has to be connected to their heart. It has to be clear. It has to include the audience so they can feel that they're part of it, that like they are the main characters of the book, even though you may be talking about your own story, but the audience, the reader, have to feel that it's about them. And I believe that the most powerful communicators and the true leaders are the one that becomes facilitators, a tool for the message to go through, and the main character, the center of the impact of their work is the people that they are serving.
Oh, yes, that is so important. And I have to come from a place where, I'm an empowerment coach, empowering girls and giving them leadership training. So you were talking about wisdom of the soul, and that is such power coming from your purpose. What are some key steps that girls can use to find their purpose? You've written about purpose extensively, and how can they share that purpose with the world?
For sure. I mean, for first and foremost will be to understand that everyone on this planet have a purpose. We are all here with a purpose. Now we have an inner purpose and an outer purpose, as Eckhart Tolle talks about that in his book, A New Earth. And our inner purpose is to evolve. That means that we're here to change, we're constantly evolving. And I said that we can evolve consciously or unconsciously. Consciously is when we choose to learn, to read, to study. Like what you're doing here, for example, Haseena, is helping the world to evolve consciously because you are sharing tools that allow people to choose transformation, to choose change. So when you are taking full responsibility of the change in your life, you are evolving consciously. And then there is the other side where we evolve unconsciously, and that's where a lot of people are these days, that they become like more victims of their circumstances, and they don't think they have the power to change them. So that's our inner purpose, is evolution. Part of my work is to help people to consciously evolve so they can choose to create their destiny instead of being a victim of it. And then there is our outer purpose, and our outer purpose is one that we all have, is to serve, to make a difference, to help others. We all came here to this planet to do good, to make this world a better place, to leave it better than we find it. That this is a need that we all have. Now, some people, the same as evolving, do it consciously, and others do it unconsciously. Now, when we are evolving and when we are serving and contributing consciously, we do it by choice, like I said. So how do we contribute consciously on this planet? Is by sharing our gifts, is by sharing of God-given gift, if you believe in God or universe or energy, whatever it is. What is in your heart? What is inside of you? What is that you love to do, that you're so passionate about, that if you had all the money in the world and all the time to enjoy it, you will do it because you love it, not because you have to, not because you have to do it for work, but because this is what you have in your heart. And some people don't know exactly what their passion is. So I always tell people, well, if you had all the money in the world and all the time to enjoy it, what would you do with your time? What would you do with your time to serve other people? So for some people, it's like, okay, maybe being a coach, maybe being a radio host, like what you're doing, or an architect or a doctor, maybe something completely different than what they're doing right now, maybe the same on a bigger scale. So our outer purpose is to contribute through our gifts when we're doing consciously. When we do it unconsciously, we are just contributing with the negativity of the ego because we're, again, being victims of the circumstances. People don't believe they have a say. They don't believe they have the right to do what they love. They think they need to pay the bills and they just need to work for money. So that's when they are contributing and still to the world, but for the negative side, for the unconscious side. So the essence of my book is to help people evolve and contribute consciously so they can do what they love the most, use it to serve other people while they create abundance for them and for others, non-profit and for-profit, in a way that they are making a difference every day, that they're growing every day, that they're choosing life every day.
Mm-hmm. Well, Karen, you mentioned abundance. What does abundance mean to you?
Abundance for me is a state of being. What that means is that you are aware, you are conscious about the
already abundance that you have. That means that you have all you have, that you have all you need, that you are created with all the gifts and the abilities and the experiences that you need to have an impact on this planet. Abundance is a state of being. What that means is that you are choosing to be grateful, to appreciate for all that you have and even for what you don't have, because you know that everything is part of that perfect plan for your evolution on this planet and for your contribution. So it is important to recognize that once we choose abundance, once we understand and we are aware that we have already prosperity, that we have all we need and we are all we need, and then we can then share our gifts with the world, and the compensations for those gifts is also abundance. The compensation in our life with happiness and health and joy and also financial prosperity is part of that abundance. So it's an integral. In essence, is a state of being that is projected and manifested in the world through the sharing of our gift and the compensation for them.
It's so amazing when you put it like that, because in today's world, a lot of people relate their self-worth to what they do or what they have, not that they are worthy just because they came into this world and they came in abundance. So I love the way you put it.
Yes.
Now, Karen, I know you share a few personal struggles in your book. What is one of your challenges you faced that most influenced the direction of your life? And what would you say that it taught you that helped you create such success? Because I want girls to learn from this, of how they can turn their challenges into victory.
For sure. I believe, first of all, that I'm very privileged to be able to say that I had a difficult past and a challenging experience in my past. I think it's a privilege, and most people maybe won't understand this in the beginning, but I'm going to explain. When we go and we overcome challenges in our life and we're able to see the gift behind it, because I believe that every challenge brings a gift, we then receive a privilege of change. First of all, our choice to either continue replicating what happened in our past, or two, to use what happened in our past to grow and to help other people. My case, for many years, I didn't understand why I had to experience a lot of pain growing up, because my mom and grandma were survivors of domestic violence. So I witnessed violence and abuse since I was 4 years old. And then I didn't understand why, even though I knew I wanted to change that, because I read books about happiness and quantum physics and all of these. Even though I wanted to change that, I ended up reliving the same thing. And when I was a teen, I experienced domestic violence myself, and I ended up with a gun on my head. And it was very difficult, not only because I almost died, but because I didn't understand why this was happening to me. And this may be something that people that are listening to us right now may be experiencing. And they may be asking, why? Why me? Why this? And more than the why, I invite you all who are listening to ask for what for. What is the purpose of this experience? When we ask why, and when we don't take responsibility for what happened in our life, we become victims. For many years, I was a victim of domestic violence. Once I took responsibility, I said, I am the creator of my results. I am the creator of my life. I was able to take responsibility without justifying what happened, because I'm not saying that domestic violence, it's okay. But when I took responsibility, I was able to be free to choose either to continue attracting to my life people that will abuse me, or to choose to change my life. And that's how I did it. I chose in my heart and in my actions that I was going to end the cycle of abuse in my family, that I was going to choose consciously from now on to heal the roots of my past that were perpetuating abuse in my life. And I got the opportunity to heal my relationship with my mother, my father, because for many years I blamed my father for my life and my situation. And as far as we have blame and guilt in our hearts, we are not able to heal. We'll continue perpetuating experiences that are similar to the ones of our past, because as the way of the universe telling us, you will continue experiencing this until you get the gift of all of this, until you understand that this is not a punishment. This is not because life is evil. It is part of what you have created with your own subconscious mind, with your own roots of the past. And you also have the freedom, the power to change that. It's in your hands. And as soon as you see the gift, as soon as you see the learning experience, what you allowed, what you will never allow in your life again. And then once you choose to share the gift with other people so they don't go through the same thing, and then you have received the gift of pain, you have received the gift of difficulties and why we go through all of these, that why will be revealed himself, but not from a place of victim, but from a place of a survivor, an empowered human being who now choose his or her destiny.
Yeah, wow. It is so empowering to be able to say that I have a choice to be able to live my life from here on the way I choose. What am I going to do that's different? What am I going to do to move forward? And how am I going to find purpose? So, wow, that takes such strength, what you've done. And I know you've inspired so many women, especially around the world, Karen, because, gender-based violence, I mean, the stats are 1 in 3. So just, what would you say is your best advice to women and girls from your position of strength that you created?
My advice for women will be to choose their power. We are women, we know we are powerful, but many ways and many times we don't choose our power. And that's because society have taught us that we are the weak gender, that we are the emotional ones, that we are the ones that don't really know how to deal with difficulties. But we know we are very strong.
Yeah.
We all know that women are, I don't say stronger than men, because I don't think we should compare to men. I believe that they are powerful in their own way and we have our own power. So instead of comparing to other women, comparing to men, comparing to nothing, it's just choosing our power and choosing to look ourselves in the mirror and said, I am beautiful just the way I am. I love myself just the way I am. I have a purpose to share. I have a gift to share. I know that everything that I experienced in my past was part of a perfect plan for me to grow, for me to be who I am today, so I can live my purpose, so I can leave a legacy. I have value. I have a piece of the puzzle that is necessarily in the world to awake, to evolve, to grow. I matter. I am worthy. I am.
I love that. That is so powerful. So let me ask you this. How do you suggest that women and girls especially keep motivated and inspired? Because we all have those days where there's circumstances that are less than perfect or that really hurt us. So how do we create happiness in our life and stay inspired?
Well, it is important to understand, Haseena, that happiness as well as suffering is a choice. It's a choice.
Yeah.
If we're going to wait until everything change for the better to be happy, we will never be happy. There is always going to be a challenge, a situation that it will convince us in this case, our ego, which is the little voice in our head, or false self, it will convince the ego that we cannot be happy yet. Maybe when we have something, maybe when we are with somebody, maybe when we get there, and then we will be happy. I say, don't wait for anything to be happy. Choose your happiness without any reason. Happiness for no reasons. Once you do that, everything else will start changing around you. But how can you choose happiness, you will say, when there is so many difficulties in my life? Maybe you are thinking that and listening to this. Well, the best way to choose happiness is with gratitude. When we get to be grateful, now I have gratitude because I have ears to listen to this message. Many people cannot hear this message. I can. I am grateful because I have ears. I have eyes to see. I have a voice to share. I have a meal in my plate. Remember, very close to you, in Africa, in some places in Africa, there are kids that die of hunger every 3 seconds.
Oh, yes.
So it is something that is happening every day, yet you get to have a meal. Every day you get to have a place where you sleep. Whatever it is, wherever you are, I assure you that there is something that you can be grateful for. As soon as you are grateful, choosing happiness happens. It's a natural way. It happens naturally as a side effect of gratitude. If you are having challenge with being happy, start with a gratitude list. 10 things that you're grateful for today. As soon as you open your eyes, what you're grateful for. Before you close your eyes, what you're grateful for. When you are feeling in stress, what you're grateful for. And that will allow you to choose the happiness that you have in your hands. When you use the key, which is gratitude, many doors start opening in front of you. And then you will attract people who are also in the same vibration, because happiness is also a vibration. It's an energy. And you will start attracting opportunities and gifts that many people don't have, not because they don't deserve it, but because they cannot see. Because if you are not grateful, if you are choosing suffering is a blindfold that covers your eyes to the gift that the world have to offer. Once you choose gratitude, you choose happiness, you let go of the blindfold, and you clearly see how blessed you already are.
Yeah. It's about perspective, and it's amazing what a difference that makes. A friend gave me an exercise the other day and said, okay, the exercise is to look for, I think it was 3 to 5 things that you're grateful for every day, but you couldn't repeat any of them. You had to find new things each day. But it makes such a difference, because you can't think about, or you can't feel gratitude without actually feeling better than you're feeling.
Mm-hmm.
There's just no way.
That's correct.
Karen, I know you talked about the ego, and in Purpose, the Ultimate Quest, you talk about making friends with your ego. Can you share a bit about how you do that?
Well, first of all, again, to clarify what ego is, because many people think that ego is us feeling more than other people, like arrogance, right? The ego we're talking about is false self. It's who we think we are. It is manifested by the little voice in our head that is always telling us that we're not worth it, that we're not worthy, that other people are separated from us. The ego is the illusion of separation, that we don't belong, that other people are different, that they are there, we're here. And that little voice never goes away. The people that are awakened, they still have an ego, they just don't identify with it anymore.
And when we understand that we are not the little voice in our head, that that's not who we really are, that who we really are is our essence, our pure essence, whatever you want to call it, soul, God, universe within, that's who you really are, that you have no beginning, no end, that you're an eternal being. Once you understand that, it's a deep yet very simple concept of existence. And then you will be able to not to take personally the voice of the ego. And I teach in my book, Purpose, how you can first find the name of your ego by doing an exercise where you can channel the name of your ego. And then recognize the way of being, the personality of your ego, so it doesn't take you by surprise. More you know your ego, more you understand why sometimes you react in certain ways and why you create certain results in your life. And then you become very compassionate about your ego, because the ego is like a little kid always looking for food and attention. Mm-hmm. So you no longer take it personally. And when I say making friends with it, that means that you are so compassionate that you don't judge it anymore, that it doesn't longer have any power. It doesn't have any power over you anymore. It doesn't run your life anymore. And then I will teach in my book how you can use certain tools in your life to give it food in a healthy way. So you can use your ego for good. So the ego is not bad, it's just unconscious. So you can use ego in a good way. My ego's name is Carmen, and I use Carmen in the red carpet when she goes on front of cameras and all of that. Carmen loves it, right? But and then I use that to open a door so my essence then can share a message that it can empower many, many more people. That's how I have used Carmen for, like, the red carpets of the Oscars, the Grammy, Hollywood, glamour, all of that.
Yeah.
She loves it. So I let her be, I let it shine in the red carpet, and then I use it for goodness. I use all of that influence and celebrity status to reach people that otherwise couldn't hear me because I'm not part of the world.
Yeah. Well, that is awesome, Karen. Well, is there one last message that you'd like to share with listeners? I know that there's a lot in your heart to do with your purpose right now, because it is very powerful.
Yes, of course. For you who are listening right now, woman, men, I want you to know that you are it. You are the chosen one. There is no other person outside who has or to change your life better than you. You are born for greatness. You are born to be happy, to be healthy, to have everything that you want to create in your heart. You didn't came to this world to survive or to suffer. You came here to make a difference. You make a difference. You have a purpose within your heart. You have gifts to share with the world. I invite you to let go of the change of your past by honoring and recognizing the gift that this past have for you, by bringing gratitude into your life and choosing to recognize what is your passion. What is it within you that you would love to share and do if you don't have to think about money, surviving a job? What is it that you really love to do? And then do it. If it's art, start painting. If it's dancing, start dancing. Whatever it is, don't wait until tomorrow. This is the perfect moment for you to start sharing your gift with the world. Don't wait. The world is ready for you. Out there are thousands of people looking for your gift. You matter, you are a star, keep shining.
What an amazing message. Thank you so much, Karen. It's always a pleasure to connect with you, and thank you for today. You gave the listeners such a lot to think about and to process.
It was my pleasure, Haseena. For anyone that wants to learn more about our book, they can go to purposebestseller.com. As you know, Amazon delivers everywhere in the world. So they can get it through Amazon, and if they are in United States, they can get it in Barnes and Nobles and Target and Walmart. But Amazon is a great way to get access to my book, and the page is purposebestseller.com. Thank you so much, Haseena. We'll continue being in touch. Also, you can contact me in my social media, which is Karen Hoyos. And I'm really looking forward to hearing all the great feedback from our audience. And I love you. I love everyone. Thank you so much. Blessings from my heart to yours.
Thank you. Goodbye and bye, listeners.